The shocking work, The Darwin Incident, featuring Charlie, a human Z, born between a human and a chimpanzee, confronts readers with profound themes such as terrorism, discrimination, and bioethics. This work, which has won numerous awards, including the Manga Taisho 2022, and has sparked a great response both domestically and internationally, is finally moving forward as a long-awaited animation. This time, we conducted an interview with the original author, Shun Umezawa. We talked extensively about how he constructed the shocking story and what requests he made to the animation staff for the adaptation. After actually watching the animation footage and production, what were your impressions?
I am not very knowledgeable about the technical aspects of animation, but I can feel that the animators are putting a lot of effort into drawing my work. Not only the character drawings, but also the details of the art are elaborately depicted, and I think they have made it a very high-quality work.
Did you make any requests to the animation production team about things you absolutely wanted them to adhere to?
Director Tsuda had told me beforehand that he wanted to stick as closely as possible to the original manga, so I didn't make any detailed demands. I only conveyed 2 points: that I wanted the essence and central themes of the story to be handled straightforwardly, and that they should be careful not to include expressions that would promote discrimination or prejudice. Other than that, I have left it up to them.
When the production team consulted me, I mostly explained the intentions behind my original work. For example, in the early stages of production, I talked about the center of gravity of Charlie, the human Z. Charlie's balance in standing is different from that of humans, and since I discovered his center of gravity balance myself while drawing the manga, I shared that a little with the animation staff. As for the overall movement itself, I am an amateur, so I left it to the animators. When I actually saw the animation, it was convincing in the sense of this is probably how a human Z would move if it really existed, and I enjoyed the subtle nuances unique to animation.
Let's talk about the voice casting. Atsumi Tanizaki is Charlie, Mitsuho Kanbei is Lucy, and Akio Otsuka is Rivera. What are your thoughts on the voice images for these three?
Regarding Lucy, from the audition stage, Kanbei's voice fit the character so perfectly that I thought, this is the one. The emotional subtleties are expressed even more than in the manga, and I really feel she is Lucy herself. As for Rivera, Otsuka's presence was simply overwhelming. With that kind of charisma tempting you, a high school student would easily be swayed. It didn't feel like Otsuka was playing a character I drew. Rather, it felt like I was adapting the character that Otsuka was portraying into manga form.
How about the protagonist, Charlie?
Actually, Charlie was the only role that wasn't decided through the audition process. The director personally selected Tanizaki and fished her out. Even I, the original author, hadn't fully grasped the image of Charlie's voice, but the moment Tanizaki-san started speaking, I felt like, this is it, and it clicked. She has a subtle tuning where she deliberately restrains her emotions, yet faintly brings the character to life. Above all, Charlie's natural presence of having no doubt about their own existence, just being there as a matter of course, came through in Tanizaki-san's voice.
Why did you set the stage of your work in America rather than Japan?
I thought that the themes dealt with in this work, discrimination, animal rights, and veganism, are still somewhat unfamiliar in Japan. So I had the intention that by giving it the atmosphere of an American drama, it might be more easily accepted.
I feel the depiction of America is very realistic. How did you conduct your research?
Actually, at the time I started the manga serialization, I had never been to America. Right after serialization began, the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and it wasn't possible to travel abroad. I expanded my imagination based on American movies and novels I like, used Google Street View to grasp the atmosphere of the towns, and supplemented my creation in my own way.
Please tell us about the characters as well as the worldview. What do you think is the charm of the character Charlie that you, Umezawa-sensei, cherish when drawing the manga?
Charlie, who is half chimpanzee and half human, represents the other to humans. The unknown aspects due to species differences are deliberately left unresolved rather than easily explained away. Charlie changes throughout the story, but it is important that from the human perspective, he always remains a being with a certain unknown part. Just as humans have a human perspective, Charlie has her own world.
Since this is a manga, the setting is that the species are different, but in reality, even among humans, each person's view of the world must be different.
Where did the idea for Human Z originally come from?
I had drawn a short manga called Mo Ningen that also dealt with bioethics. When I was thinking about developing that manga further, I came across an article about Human Z online. Using such a marginal existence as a medium, I thought I could depict in manga the question of how far human rights can be extended and to what extent they should be protected.
Is there any particular intention behind depicting Charlie, who is half chimpanzee, as a being with abilities beyond those of humans?
I set him to have high intelligence and physical abilities, because otherwise humans wouldn't recognize him as an other being different from humans. If he were weak and unknown, biases would cause him to be ignored. To make people understand he is here as an equal or even superior being to humans, I deliberately gave him high abilities.
What motivates you to continue focusing on the theme of bioethics in your manga?
From my own experience, I constantly feel that this world is full of things we don't understand. We do not even know why humans exist, yet we are only taught rules and live by default with desire as our driving principle. I think that my continuous pondering on what are these rules has culminated in the form of manga.
What was the reason for choosing to address veganism in this work?
When deepening the theme of how far the boundary is where humans can have rights, I felt it would be impossible to depict it fully by focusing only on humans. To have a more inclusive perspective in drawing the manga, arriving at animal rights and veganism was a natural progression.
Did you face any difficulties in dealing with themes such as discrimination and terrorism in the story?
Since the setting is America and depicts diverse races, there are difficulties different from setting it in Japan. The way the manga is drawn could easily lead to discrimination or prejudice against certain attributes. Even in Hollywood, casting balance becomes a topic of discussion, and I pay very close attention to composition and placement myself. Drawing manga personally made me deeply realize, so this is what it was about, regarding casting in films.
How do you balance social themes and entertainment in your work?
Since my manga is a long-running series, I want it to be more pop and accessible so that many people will read it. Rather than one-sidedly asserting my own opinions, I have the idea of using themes strictly as tools to create an interesting story, and I am conscious of maintaining a certain distance from the work.
There are various characters in the story with different claims, some quite extreme. That means these are separate from your own views, right?
Yes, that's right. Maintaining distance is part of how I can create manga. If I were too invested in any one claim, it would be difficult for readers to enjoy it as entertainment. That said, it would be hypocritical for me to not commit at all to the work, so while I have my own thoughts and stance, I keep a good distance from each opinion within the story. I carefully depict the manga to maintain this balance.
Listening to you, I felt that the word others is a key concept in your work. What does others mean to you?
Even among humans, we ultimately don't understand anything beyond ourselves, yet we must cooperate and live together in the same society. I think many of the problems humans face can be reduced to this word others.
Society is where those who do not understand each other must be together, and Charlie symbolizes that, right?
It can be seen as something new and unknown has appeared, or it can also mean something that originally existed but was unseen has now been made visible.
Finally, with the original work being adapted into an anime, your story will reach a wider audience. What kind of response are you hoping for?
First and foremost, I want people to enjoy it as entertainment. The original manga is still ongoing, so I want to see how those who encounter the work through the anime react, and then feed that back into the work. I would be grateful to receive some kind of feedback. Honestly, I'm a bit scared about how my manga will be received overseas, but I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of reactions we get.